And a pleasant 3rd of July to you. Welcome to Lone Star Park at Grand Prairie. 3rd of July means first night of Stars and Stripes. Our post-race fireworks coming up after a little gap at the end of the races to get the horses back in their barns. We'll have music and entertainment to fill the gap. But alongside Rodney Nelson, I'm Jim Byers. Rodney, it's that time again, 4th of July. Weekend-esque, not quite the weekend yet, but we're getting there, and 4-day week of racing. So we got a couple of nice cards here next 2 nights, but then we come back right on Saturday and Sunday. Good stakes on Saturday, and it's going to be an interesting week.
Yeah, busy weekend, 2 nights of fireworks and music, and then you said stakes races on Saturday. Yeah. Bring a Pepsi can on Sunday, get in for free, and, man, hopefully we'll get some temperatures like this. I mean, it's pretty nice out here this evening.
It's 86 right now. Last time I looked, it's overcast, which I really like because I get the sun coming at me this time of year in the early races. So, and it just keeps the temperature down. So let's hope that stays the way it is. We've got 9 races to look at. Let's take a gander at who we like in race 1. The horse I originally liked in the first knock-knock joke, Scratched, he had been running really hard this meet and had really gotten good. He added a lot of depth to this field, but race 1, just 3-year-olds. They can be in for $50,000. It's an optional claimer, or they can be non-winners of 2 life. They're all non-winners of 2 except for Golden Grit, who is our top pick. They'll go 6 furlongs.
Yeah, I got Golden Grit. I mean, this horse was a winner last time. Has won 2 out of 3 here at the meet so far. The one race that Golden Grit didn't win was a close-up second, just missing by a neck in that one. This horse was claimed last time out. If you look at the stats, first start for Abel Ramirez Rodriguez, he hits pretty good on first-time starters. Got the leading jockey in the colony here. Seems like a lot to like about Golden Grit. Take this horse on top. War Mule, the number 1, is going to be my second choice. Horse is taking quite a bit of a drop here. Came out of those big races at Hot Springs. Won his debut race out there, so not so bad there. But since then, maybe this horse was in a little bit over his head there in Arkansas. We'll see how he does here tonight. And then I got number 6, Count the Brave, as my third choice. This horse is coming in here straight off a run in the Texas Derby last time out on Memorial Day. The last 2 races were route races. Goes back to a sprint today. We'll see if Count the Brave is ready to go and show some speed up there. I think this horse might tonight. I got it 7-1-6 in the opener.
Yeah, Golden Grit, there's not much I can add about that. I mean, he's just been so good and so consistent all 3 races this meet. He won a race at this exact level, but it was against Texas breds last time out when he started for Caldwell. Now he has been claimed by Abel Ramirez Rodriguez, who, as you mentioned, is 30% first off the claim. That's very good, obviously. No reason he can't keep him just as sharp. His Beyer figs have been consistent. Count the Brave, I think he really fits with this turn back to a sprint distance. The last 2 races for him, one here and one at Houston, he was in pretty tough in Stakes Company. His early sprint work was done in Kentucky and at the fairgrounds, and no doubt he was in tough there, but he did break his maiden at Churchill. War Mule, I kind of like him as well. He adds blinkers today for Calhoun. Thing about War Mule, he took a tough track against Arkansas breds at Hot Springs. He breaks his maiden first out back in December, and then they immediately put him in allowances. The Rainbow Bridge, he was the favorite in that stakes event. At 6 furlongs, he was finished up the track there. So he should fit better with this group. On to the second. No superfecta on race 2 because we have 2 scratches. Scratch the 4, Daring Reason. Scratch the 5, Be Minor. 6 furlongs here, optional claimer, $8,000 claiming price. Or you could have started for $6,250 or less this year.
Yeah, I think all of us are going to be on Axton here, the number 3. This looks like the horse to beat here in this spot. I mean, last time out, this horse was in a starter race, won that race by 5 lengths, looked very good doing it. If you look at the comments, it says Drew off. That's one of my favorite comments to see. Was a winner before that as well. Both of those races came right here on this track in sprint races. This horse has some wins at the distance as well. I think there's a lot to like about Axton. Give me this horse in race 2. I got Cajun Eddie, the 1, as my second choice. Looks like you're going the same way I am. for the second choice. 10-1 morning line on this horse, but now with the 2 scratches, we're not going to get that lucky, I don't think. The last 3 races for this horse were pretty good. Win, a second, and a third. That third was last time out, missed by 3/4 of a length. That was a route race on the turf. Now gets back to the main surface tonight in the sprint. I think Cajun Eddie could run very well here. And then I got the 7, Sweet River Baines, as my third choice. If you look, this horse has won 2 out of the last 3 races. Those 2 wins came at Sunland. Came over here to Lone Star Park at the end of May. Ran 5 furlongs on the turf. Ended up third in that one, so not bad in the starter optional claiming there. But once again, this horse, just like Cajun Eddie, gets back to the dirt tonight. I think it can have a good run from the outside. 3, 1, and 7 here in race 2.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, Sweet River Baines, starting with him, he's won a dozen races in his career. And, his last race was his first off a little mini layoff. And he did have a little bit of an issue in between horses and was checked in there. But he could run better this time. That was on the turf also. And now he gets back to the dirt, which is definitely his thing. But Axton, the old Harbaugh, Jim and John Harbaugh and their dad, their expression, who's got it better than we do? And then they say nobody. Well, who's sharper than Axton? I mean, seriously, this guy wins on May 24th. First out from Oaklawn. He gets claimed by Cappellucci. He improves on that performance in every respect, stepping up a tiny bit in class, and wins by 5. He's going so well, I couldn't look anywhere else but him, especially now in a field that's down to 5. But I agree about Cajun Eddie. He's been pretty sharp, too. He's been real sharp. Race 3. I think this is one of the more wide-open races on the day, and I think I've got a couple of long shots today, and this is one of them. This is a turf sprint, 5/8, $20,000 claiming non-winners of 3 lifetime. It's for 3-year-olds and up, but the only 3-year-old is a long shot, Blazing to Gold, number 9. The rest are all older.
So I'm going to go with the number 2, Last Attack here. 3-1 on the morning line for this horse. The last 3 races, that's what I like to look at. Won 3 starts back, was a win, came right here on our track. That was back on the 11th of May. That was on the main track. Went into an allowance race after that on the turf. Ran pretty well in that one. In a second-place finish, missing by a length and 3/4. Winning a route race last time out on the grass. Now gets back to a sprint again. I think Last Attack can outrun them all here. Because, just looking at some of that speed this horse showed in the last few races, thinking Last Attack might get out there and lead it from gate to wire. Number 1, Flying Caesar. That's going to be my second choice. This horse was a winner 2 starts back at this distance on this turf course right out here at Lone Star Park. Did it at the $25,000 claiming level as well. So let's see if Flying Caesar at some decent odds can't get up there and finish in the mix. And then I got number 6, Flotation Station, as my third choice. This horse has only had 2 starts so far in 2025. The first one didn't go so well, finished 7 of 10 in that race, but followed that back up in a $20,000 non-winners of 3 claiming race. Ran a good third in that one, just missing by a length and a half. Maybe this horse is getting back on track. Has never tried the grass before, so we'll see if this horse likes the turf course. I got it 2-1-6 here in race 3.
I remembered his dam's name, Christina's Comet. So I looked her up. She won here in 2017 on the turf. She was 1 for 2 on the grass, and that win came out here. Not that that's automatically going to transmit to the colt, but I think he's got a shot. I think a lot of them have a shot in here. If Pinehurst runs the same race he ran last time, he's got a nice shot, although I think that might have been a little bit of an aberration. Rick, as his long shot, picks Blazing to Gold. I would watch the 9 on the tote board because a lot of time Rick's long shot pick gets played, not just because it's his long shot, but because it's a horse that maybe is a little overlooked. And Rick likes to pick these speed horses in these super short sprints, like this horse just ran against quarter horses at Sunray and ran 3rd. I couldn't work him into the picks myself, but I'm going with Flying Caesar. It's a super wide open race. He ran a really nice race last time, I thought. It was 2 turns. His deal, I think, is sprinting, and he may end up being a really good turf sprinter. He is just 1 for 2 on the grass after a whole bunch of dirt tries where he pretty much ran his race, but he didn't win a whole lot. But I like him in here as much as anybody, and I like the Willis Elliott combination on the turf, so I'm going to give them a shot. This is a good race. There should be really nice win prices on just about everybody in there. Race 4. Fourth race is interesting because you have two big horses dropping in class, the 10 and the 11, both taking really large drops, Moon Crater and Franny. These are Texas-bred fillies. They're $5,000 claimers, non-2 life. Scratch the 7, Itty Bitty Baby. They'll go 5.5.
Yeah, I went with the Moon Crater, number 10. I like that class drop, going from $20,000 last time to a nickel tonight. Finished third in that race last time out, so wasn't that bad against better horses. If you look back, this horse broke its maiden right here at Lone Star Park earlier this year.
Yeah.
So I guess she likes our course. That breaking the maiden and having a solid race last time out makes that drop to $5,000 today. Had a bullet workout back on the 11th of June, had that race in between, but I think there's a lot to like about Moon Crater. Now, I took the number 5, Gold Miracle, as my second choice, so 15-1 on the line for this one, hoping for a little bit of a shot here. This horse has only been in 2 races so far. Both of them did come out here. They were $7,500 maiden claiming races. The first one was a third-place finish. Last time out, this horse won by a length and a half. You mentioned that combination of Stuart Elliott and Mindy Willis in the last race. I like that here on Gold Miracle. Maybe the third time's a charm. We'll see if this horse can't get up for another win. And then number 11, Franny, that's my third choice. Taking a drop as well. This horse had a win back at Sam Houston. Had a couple fourth-place finishes right here and a third before that. All 3 of those right here at Lone Star Park coming at $20,000 tag. In for 5 tonight. Franny, take a look at this horse. I got it 10, 5, and 11.
Yeah, Franny, this is the first time she's ever been anywhere near this low a claiming tag. She's run for 20 a handful of times and was in maiden special weights for a while. I think she fits in this group. Gold Miracle, the Beyer figs aren't great, but I think at this level you can kind of excuse that. I'm not sure how much Beyers, unless somebody has a Beyer fig that's like 20 points better than anybody else. I don't know how important they are at this level. Just Tickled 2 races ago, just had an absolute tremendous maiden breaking win, wire to wire, and came back last time out and set the pace in that race with Moon Crater. And as far as Moon Crater, my pick too, she's taking a big drop. When they put blinkers on her here the day after the Kentucky Derby, she broke her maiden very nicely. Since then, she's run sort of halfway decently, and last time she was favored for much better, $20,000 non-2. She was favored in that race and ran a decent third. So a little contention in there, but I think Moon Crater will be a decently backed favorite, but she's definitely the one to beat. On to the 5th. 6 furlongs here, filly maiden special weights. No scratches, and they'll go 3/4 of a mile. I think there's good depth in this field. I took one of the 2 logical ones. You did too, Matilda's Mark. But this is an interesting race. If one of the top 2 favorites on the line, the 7 and the 8, don't get it done, there's some long shots that could be lurking in here.
Yeah, I think I got one of those picked second here, but Matilda's Mark is going to be my top choice. The number 7 horse. Jim, I love horses making their second career start. Second start back after a layoff. Matilda's Mark's doing that. Had a good run last time out over our course back on June the 6th, finishing second in that race. Posted a bullet workout since then. Todd Fincher, the trainer, he can send out some winners, no doubt about it. Give me the 7 on top here. Now, my little backup choice, or one with a little bit of odds, is going to be number 5, Pretty in Pearls. Sure. So, if you look at the past few races, you don't see anything that stands out, really. Was beaten by 13 3/4 last time, 7 and some change before that. Hadn't been up there to hit the board in those 4 starts, but those were all in some better races. This horse has only run on either the turf or the poly track or synthetic track, and has never been on a dirt track in a race. I think going 6 furlongs, going from that synthetic last time at 1 mile, dropping down here, main track, 6 furlongs, I think Pretty in Pearls, if she's going to show something, this might be the time to do it, and you might be able to get her at a pretty decent price. And then I'll take number 8, My Side Hustle, as my third choice. This horse has had a couple races. One of them came at Churchill Downs. That was the very first one for the horse. Ran a good second in that one, but those 2 races came back in 2023. This horse has had a lot of time off since then. We'll see if she's ready to get back on the track today. I got it 7-5-8 here in race 5.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts on that. I mean, My Side Hustle, we've seen a couple of long comebackers. In fact, I picked both of them. Come back and win. Second ID came back and won for Bob Young, and looking for bargains and come off a more than a year layoff and won for Fincher.
I think Knock Knock Joke was one of those too. Was Knock Knock Joke took some time off? I can look right now.
Possibly.
Nope, I was incorrect about that one.
It might have been another Capalucci.
Yeah.
But My Side Hustle, there's an interesting story to her, and it's not why I picked her or didn't pick her. She has really professional drills coming into this comeback race. And Scott Young, while he can win a lot of races and does, and this filly is 4, which gives her a little advantage over some of her younger colleagues. But My Side Hustle, she was sold at Keeneland 4 years ago as a weanling for $155,000. But then the following November, they put her in the November sale, a mixed sale, and she only sold for $25,000. So I'd like an explanation on what exactly was going on there. It seems like a big drop. But nonetheless, her 2 races in Kentucky 2 years ago could easily beat this field. But I'm going to try Matilda's Mark too. Don't forget, or not don't forget, but just so you know, she did come over here on May 17th and try to run, but ran off before getting saddled, ran around for a bit, and was sent back unable to race because she had run around loose. And then she came back and behaved much better last time, ran second to Go Purple, who was winning his second, who then went on and won another race, second straight. In his next start. I'm going to go with her. Her first race was really nice. She has a super good breeze since then. A couple of others, I like her Pretty in Pearls. Pretty in Pearls does have the best buyer ever recorded in this field. She had a 61 in her debut last year at Indiana on the turf. And I would say Indiana's maiden specials, some people might argue with me, but I think they're about the same as ours. And she ran okay there. She might just not have liked the synthetic track at Turfway. And then Shirley Swift is another one to look at. Oklahoma bred, Francisco Bravo's very hot. This filly's works have been really nice, quick, and fairly consistent. So I would watch for the 4 Shirley Swift in this spot as well. On to the 6th. All older runners contesting race number 6, mile and 1/16 on the turf. This is an optional claimer, $35,000 the tag, or you can be a non-winner of 4, or you can be a non-winner of a race other than maiden claiming starter, trial, or state-bred allowance at a mile or over in 25. So, boy, the conditions are piling up on this one. But, we both took Carly's Dream, and he's so reliable on this course, and he's such a money-making machine and kind of a win machine as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's won 10 out of 46. I'm looking for another win today. This horse likes to get out there and show some speed early on. He's going to have to go a little bit of a ground today, a mile and a 16th. But, if you look, this horse has had 4 wins at the distance, has a second and a third as well. So not so bad. Give me the 7 on top. Number 1, Savaco, is going to be my second choice. This horse was a winner early on during the meet, back on the 26th of May. Picked up a win by a neck there in a starter race. Went into another couple races on the turf after that. Finishing third in both of those. One of them came at 7.5. That was the most recent one. The one before that was at a mile and 16th. That was a third place finish. And if you look at this distance, this horse has 2 wins and 2/3 from 4 starts. So it's hit the board in every one of those mile and 16th races. I think Savaco can have a nice one today. And then number 3, Hayes Strike, is going to be my third choice. Coming in here fresh off a close-up second in that race, just missing by a neck. Was a winner 3 starts back. That came at Oaklawn. In a $50,000 claiming race. I think Hayes Strike getting Ramon Vasquez today, our top jockey in the Colony, I think helps out. I'll take the 3 up here in my top 3s. I got it 7, 1, and 3 in race 6.
You know what's interesting about this race is In Savaco's last race, which was less than a week ago, it was last Friday, and in Hayes Strike's last race, I both picked them on top. And, sometimes as a handicapper, if you like a horse, if they come back at a reasonable level and they're not stepping way up somewhere, sometimes you inclined to take them back just because, if you like them enough one time, you might like them enough the next, depending on who they're facing. Well, in this one, I still couldn't go against Carly's Dream. I mean, I don't normally pick him because he's usually like a second, third choice type of guy to somebody that's really, really good, like an Ocelot last time who just exploded late. And Carly's Dream, it looks like he lost a lot of ground late in that race while running second, but Ocelot just ran away from everybody, The race before that, Creative Minister just scooted up the inside and, snaked everybody late. And this guy just does nothing but run good races. He loves this course. And by the way, Ocelot came back and ran a really nice third in the Texas Turf Classic over the weekend. So I really like Carly's Dream here. But Hayes Strike came back after a short layoff. And, he's never been on turf before, but in his last race a couple of weeks ago, he ran a super second. And, let's not forget, he was the Texas Derby winner back in 2023. So he is, a horse with a lot of back classes, made almost $600,000. So, good, really good group here. And Whiskey Not Wine is one that I would also keep an eye on because he made a really big sweeping middle move, got up to within 2 lengths of the lead, coming for home, and then faded and ran 9th out of 12 in the Ocelot race last time. But switches to Stuart Elliott. He definitely fits with this bunch. That's a good race. Carly's Dream, I think, is a clear favorite, but that's a good race. Okay, race 7. Texas bred $5,000 conditioned claimers. They're going at 5.5 furlongs. Interesting in this one, both J.R. Caldwell horses are adding blinkers. It's interesting. He's got 2 in here. That's not unusual.
Must have got a sale on some blinkers.
blinkers.
Got a sale on some blinkers.
Exactly. He did.
Well, let's talk
equipment change.
Let's talk about SA number 8. My top choice. Your top choice. Don't know what Rick picked, but probably his top choice as well.
Too. Yeah, picked him, but didn't boldface.
All right, not boldface. So not that confident, but confident enough to put the horse on top. I like SA. That race that we saw out here back on June the 7th, SA looked very good in that race. Ended up winning it by a length and 3/4. Just kind of drew away from the field. The races before that, I mean, this horse was in kind of tough in those races and, kind of held his own. But since that drop down last time for $7,500, that was a win. Is in here tonight for $5,000. I think SA has a good chance to take home the victory. And I mean, look back on the 25th of June, bullet workout that day for SA. I think this horse might have a lot going for it tonight. Number 3, Road Racer is going to be my second choice. Horse has only been out to the racetrack 4 different times, but has won 3 of those 4 races. The one this horse didn't win, lost by 6 1/4. I'm going to kind of toss that one out.
That was a tough race.
Yeah, not a typical race for this Road Racer horse. We'll see if this horse can't fire a big one tonight. And then number 9, Sunday Bling. It's going to be my third choice here. Gets the blinkers on tonight after those 2 third-place finishes right here over our track. This meet was in a stakes race for the first one down at Sam Houston, first race of the year. Sunday Bling, this horse could be a pretty good one coming from the outside. I got it 8, 3, and 9.
SA, he used to be as a 2-year-old, he was a stakes competitor, and he really, he was way up the track in the Springboard Mile, but, he ran in a couple of stakes as a 2-year-old, 3 of them, and, it was somewhat competitive earlier this year in the Groovy. I mean, he's downhill from all that, but he loves dry dirt. He's going to get that tonight. He just won over the track. He has taken a huge drop in class, but like you mentioned, that work. It's nice to see a $5,000 claimer come back and work like that, and I like the fact that Barnes did that for him. So, Road Racer, all he does is win. You just can't. You can't fault the guy. The one race he didn't win was a $50,000 optional claimer, and he was just in a little tough that day at 13-1. Among the Caldwells, you have Sunday Bling third. I have the other Caldwell third, Hard Gold. More of a distance type, middle distance guy, but he shortens up, adds blinkers. Might appreciate a little shorter race today. So that's how it looks in race 7. From our point of view, on to the 8th. Race 8 features all older horses. These are $5,000 claimers who have not won a race at a mile or over since the Ides of March. You know what? The previous race, they got fancy,
solstice
too.
Or something.
Since the spring equinox.
Yeah,
so the racing office is getting creative with their conditions, which have not won a race since the Ides of March 2025 or non-winners of 4. I love that, by the way. $5,000 tag, and they're going a mile and 1/16.
How about Wartime Hero 8 here? Last time out was a race over this surface. Went a mile and a 16th in that one. Ran second, so not bad at all, missing by a length and a quarter. Was claimed out of that race, so goes to the new barn tonight. But look, this horse has a pretty decent meet at Oak Lawn, finishing second in 2 different races up there in Hot Springs. I think Wartime Hero can take this 8th race. Number 2, Heir to Greatness. That's going to be my second choice here. This horse is coming in here first time for Abel Rodriguez. He, like you said, what'd you say, 30% earlier on his first time?
Off the claim,
yeah, so not bad at all there. I think Heir to Greatness, this horse is taking a drop in class, goes to the new barn, a very high percentage. First off the claim, I'll take the 2 in there. And then give me number 10, 12 Volt, another one for Abel Rodriguez here, coming from the outside. Horses coming in here off back-to-back wins, both of them in route races. We'll see how this horse does tonight. But I think 12 Volt might be one to look at. It's some fairly decent odds here.
Yeah, he's really sharp, too. We're seeing some horses tonight that are trying to put together like a 3rd or 4th consecutive really good race. Hopefully they'll all do it and stay sharp. But since Ramirez claimed this horse, he has gotten 2 wins out of him. He's been favored both times, and yet in this particular case, he's not among the favorites. Just, maybe facing a group that's accomplished a little bit more. I mean, you see a 7-time winner like Wartime Hero in there, and a guy that, was competing at Oaklawn quite competitively at those 12.5 condition levels over the spring. But I'm with Wartime Hero as well. I mean, the numbers he put up last year, would crush this field. I don't know if he's as good as he was last year, but he's good enough to get the pick for me in this one. And I think Macho Grande, he was out pretty sluggishly last time and dropped just so far back in that mile race here on the main track June 14th. Now he takes a drop, and there's no way he gets out as bad or drops as far back as he did last time. So Macho Grande is, you say the Ides of March. Of course, you obviously think of Beware the Ides of March, in the literary sense. I think of the Chicago-based rock group Ides of March that's still playing, by the way, that did Vehicle back in 1970. Friendly Stranger in the Black Sedan, Won't You Hop Inside My Car? One of the great first lines in rock and roll history. It's before your time, but check it
a little
out.
bit before my time.
Anybody born before 1960 probably could sing the song right now. I won't sing it because it would be an
Well, you had the first line down pretty good.
I'm the friendly stranger in the black sedan. Nowadays, you probably wouldn't really want to go with that lyric. It sounds a little creepy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I wouldn't want to hop in someone's black sedan.
Yeah, I'm your vehicle, babe. I'll take you anywhere you want to go. That's the tune. And the Ides of March guy is still playing around Chicago.
Yeah.
They were a one-hit wonder. Race 9. I got to throw one old guy reference in each night. And plus, it makes you feel young.
Yeah, it makes you feel spry.
Exactly. Race 9. 5/8 on the turf. Fillies. $20,000 claimers, non-winners of 2. Scratch the 1 Dude Ranch. Scratch the 8 Saltwater Taffy. She just ran on Sunday. So when I looked at this race a couple days ago, I never even considered her. I figured she had to scratch. They had entered her and chose to run her the other day. So that's going to cockeye the morning line a little bit here. Not a lot of proven turf sprinters in here. So this is going to be kind of interesting. I'm going with a big, we're both going with a big swing with Ogallala. How about that?
That's pretty interesting
awesome.
right there, yeah. I like this horse. Second start after a layoff. Gets the Lasix tonight. I think this horse is going to be ready to go. I mean, if you look back at how this horse did in 24 and 23, not bad. I mean, this horse put together a win in late 2023. Only had a couple races last year, but one of them was a stakes race at Sunland. Has that one race, was in for the $20,000 tag last time out on the 30th of May. So basically running against the same competition, just switching over to the grass for the first time. We'll see what this horse has. I like the 3 here. Prairie Brat 11 is going to be my second choice. This horse ran the same level last time out in a 5-furlong turf sprint on our course. Finished third in that one after leading it most of the way in that race. Did the same thing the race before that, led it most of the way. Those were the 2 times that this horse had run on the turf. Now she gets to try it a third time. We'll see if she can't pull one off here. And then I got the 12 Summertime as my third choice. Was a winner 2 starts back. This horse has had 3 tries on the turf. Hadn't really done much, but we'll see what happens tonight. I think this horse could do all right. 3, 11, 12. Let's go out with a bang with a long shot in the last race.
Yeah, I mean, races where it helps to go with a long shot are races like this. There's not a lot of proven turf sprint form in this race at all. I mean, Cayman Hot does have a turf sprint win, and that was earlier this spring at Houston, but there's just not a lot of specialists in that. Ogallala, I think you're going to get a decent price. I mean, even with Saltwater Taffy out, it's going to skew the odds. But that last race, the fig wasn't great, but the performance was okay, and now she switches to Cabrera. She's had a work since that last race. She's first-time Lasix, like you mentioned, and she has a half-sibling, Coco Cool, who broke his or her maiden turf sprinting at Woodbine and won 2 of 4 races. So, I mean, in the family, there is a little bit of turf ability. And her dam was no good on the races, 0 for 5, but she was a $200,000 yearling. So, I mean, there's good breeding. I mean, you can't ask for better breeding. By hard spun out of a Curlin mare. And the grandsire, Danzig, back when I was, younger and didn't get old song references, Danzig was an outstanding turf sire back in the 80s, let's say. I mean, he was the son of Mr. Prospector, and he was a really, really good turf sire. So there's turf breeding in there somewhere. I think that's it.
That's it. That's all 9 of them tonight.
Are we going to see your waiting for the horse to do the drug test video later?
I imagine that video will be on tonight.
That's an annual
Kill
classic.
some time, yeah.
After the races, there'll be a little delay while the horses have to get through the test barn, the others have to get back. But the fireworks will be coming, and we'll see Rodney on that. So thanks as always.
Yeah, it should be a good time today. Check out the band out in the Courtyard of Champions. The weather is nice and cool. It's going to be a fun way to kick off the July 4th weekend.
I wonder if and there's a barbecue out in the
there's a barbecue truck. Yeah, there's a barbecue truck out there. So lots of good food around here today. It's going to be, like I said, a fun time to be at the racetrack, no doubt.
I want to know if the Mullet Boys could do a vehicle by the Ides of March. That would be quite.
They might be able to. Now, this band, Mullet Boys, they're great. I love them every time they're out here. They dress to the part, play some good music. I'm going to go out and check them out for a while.
Rock,
yes.
See if they know vehicle by Ides of March.
All right, we'll see.
All right. Well, if not, when you go back, get inside, listen to it. It's a good tune. Even if the lyrics are kind of creepy. All right. That's all. 31 minutes to post for the first. Thanks a lot for looking in, and good luck tonight.
In the event of an emergency, Lone Star Park is dedicated to ensuring the safety of our patrons.